there and welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to open up some Jane Davenport art supplies that arrived from Spellbinders. I've been waiting to open them for a long time because I ordered a couple of art supplies off of Jane Davenport's website in Australia, but it's taking too long for the stuff to get here to Texas. So I've given up waiting. I'm going to open them up. I'm going to test them out and let you know what I think. And I'm also going to show you the Jane Davenport art supplies that I have had for several years and what I think about them. And maybe try to find a couple examples of where I've used them in the past, so you get an idea of what they're like. Have fun and like and subscribe if you want to help out my baby channel as it grows. Hopefully we'll be able to give you lots more art videos soon. Hello everybody, here I am with my box of goodies, and let's check out what we have inside. This is called Matchmaker Set, and it's sort of a shortcut to skin tone mixing. You've got a base and a lightener and a darkener, and it's acrylic, and it's part of her Making Faces collection. I've got the licensed to quill pen, and this is fine line brush pen. I'm trying to see if it's permanent ink or like waterproof or not. We'll find out. This is Ultimate Pen, waterproof brush pen. Okay, that makes me think the other one isn't. This is blue, Daisy Dukes. Packaging for Jane Davenport's kind of crazy. This is not a Jane Davenport buy, but I got it on Spellbinders. And for my art journalers out there, or my journalers, it's just it's a mini stapler. So it uses tiny staples, and you can attach a whole bunch to the pages of your journal without an actual real-sized staple. This is a pen. I already have one of these, but this was on such sale. Let me hack. This is fun. Watch me hack things. Okay. So you can hear me tossing my trash over there in the corner. This is her Incredible pen in the turquoise, and I have had this for many years. It's the exact same pen. It came with some ink just like this. It doesn't do well for traveling. It's leaked on me, but it was so affordable. It was $2 something. So I couldn't help get another one. It's just, they do wear out, and the more pens I can have loaded with different colors, the better. Because I love drawing with quill pens. They make me very happy with fountain pens, I should say. This is the Masquerade Journal Tattoos. And it comes with a little stick so you can scratch these onto your sketchbook. There are the different designs that come with it. And last but not least, the Magic Wand pencils in this amazing tin. I'm very excited to open these. I have pencil crayons, or you guys call them colored pencils, but they're all watercolor pencils. So they're the Prismacolor watercolor, and I really just needed plain wax-based or whatever these are, not water-based. Alrighty, let's get exploring. Once I get going experimenting with these new supplies, I imagine that I'll probably be introducing and incorporating some of the Jane Davenport supplies that I already own, and I'll just do that in an organic way. So I thought I might just quickly tell you what to expect in this video. These are the mermaid pens, I want to say, mermaid ink something or other, and I got many colors. They have lasted for years. And they're incredibly vibrant. They're just nuts. The color on these are great, and I've never regretted their purchase. I don't travel with them. You can see it. They look kind of leaky, but they're perfect for just around in my studio. have this set of acrylic paints, much like the throwing things. Much like this set, it was made, I think, to sort of help you out with skin tones, but obviously that is a limited range of skin color there. But it's a matte acrylic and quite good to draw on top of. These are the journal tattoos I've had before, and they were pages of these facial features along with a bunch of little girl heads. I love using these. These I don't find as much use for, just because if you look, the nose ones are not the right size to use with any of the others. So you kind of have to just use parts of them, just a few at a time. Because if you put these eyes together with these nose, you're gonna have a crazy shaped face, which is fine. But anyway, I just find it easier to draw faces. But these little girls are cute, and I'll show you where I've used them in the past. I have some of her washi tape it's like an unfinished paper here, so you can draw and color on it. This is my favorite one. It's got all these brushes and pencils and things like that. And this one I would have liked a lot more, but it got cut off. I kind of got sent, see how it's not quite centered, so when it was in manufacturing it kind of got a bit messed up, so I don't use this one as much. And this one is blank, and I should take advantage of that more often. I should play on this. Maybe today I'll do that. I'll make some of my own washi designs. What else do I have for you? This, I already told you, is the Incredible pen, and I've had it for quite some time. I think it might come in black in these two, or maybe just these two colors. And it's a great lower budget fountain pen if you want one. This is the paintbrush that came with these, and I actually really enjoy it. I've used it a lot. It's getting a bit full of paint, and it's, you know, won't last much longer, but I have gotten a lot of use out of it. And these are the paint over pens. I had 4 of them. They lasted a long time, and they kind of work like a Posca paint pen, but there's no roller ball in them or whatever. One of the things that I just ordered off of her site is her musical markers paint set, and those are the ones where you shake them to mix up the paint. But these work really well, and they had some cool colors. So I believe she's come out with a bunch more of these, like a whole range of colors. The last thing that I have from Jane Davenport are her sketchbooks. I just have this size, and this one I actually painted on. It was a blank canvas and I didn't like it, so I gessoed over it a bunch. I like the journal cover a lot. It's not about the destination, it's about the journal. That says it right there for me. The paper held up really well. You can see there's a little bit of buckling, but it does well with a little bit of light watercolor, and I drew in it a lot. It's not so textured that you can't just use a fine liner, a black pen, to draw in it, so that's cool. Yeah, what else can I say about this paper? It's different textures. So this is smoother than this side. That might annoy some people, but I kind of like having a range of paper texture. So that one's smooth, and then this is rough. So you can see the difference there. But I quite enjoy this book. This is my more recent one. This is her art. Love it. Oh, it's beautiful. And I'll just quickly show you how far into this one I am. I'll do a proper sketchbook tour when this is finished, but very heavily Jane Davenport influenced in this book. Here is an example of me using the little journal tattoos, scratching these little faces on, and then painting around them. I actually think I did the paint blobs first and then added the little faces. This one, oh, I hate this one. I'm showing it to you anyway because, you know, I'm vulnerable like that. Yes, I don't love this at all, but I do enjoy what's happening here. These are the mermaid markers, and they're so intense, and they do crazy stuff with water. So that is worth showing you my bad drawing. Besides, sketchbooks are not meant to be perfect. They're meant to have ugly in them. So anyway, this is the one I'm currently working in, but when I went to pull this out to show it to you, I realized, oh, I left blank pages in the back, so we can't have that. So I think I'm gonna work in here today. So I'm just diving in here with the mermaid markers. It's just a water-soluble, very, very vibrant ink with a loosey-goosey brush tip. So you can see I laid down some of the color and then just grabbed a different brush and dipped it in water in order to spread it because it goes far. And also it's very, very pigmented. So you don't need to just use the brush itself. You can grab water and another brush and just spread that around like I'm doing here. The colors blend really nicely together. I'm sticking with a warm palette here just to avoid making mud. The easiest way to make mud, if you didn't know already, is to mix colors that are opposite or near opposite on the color wheel. So say a purple and a yellow. And they will, when mixed together, make a brown color, as will orange and blue. And my brain is really sleepy. Red and green. There we go. I couldn't think of the other primary color. Wow. So I'm just dropping this purple ink into the wet paper. The page is still very wet from the brush. So I'm seeing what marks will be made if I just drop a different color in and watch it kind of bleed, which was really fun to do. I'm doing the same with the red, just blobbing the ink down on an already wet surface. And so it's kind of doing cool blooms and stuff. And all of these are warm colors. I didn't put the purple one, the slight purple hue, I didn't dip that into the yellow at all. I just put it into the pink. And I'm a little bit brave here with my blue, dropping it into that red at the bottom that is kind of like an orangey red, so it does end up making a little bit of mud. But, you know, I'm kind of controlling where that goes and how much of it I'm letting take over the painting. Next, I'm just sketching in a face here. I don't have a reference, which is probably a bad idea, but I'm trying more and more just to draw faces without needing them to be realistic, without needing them to be, you know, to look like, resemble anyone. And then you don't need a reference. So you will see, I'm laughing at that smile, that I just put in a little devilish smile. You'll see that I kind of fight this face throughout my whole experimentation. It's kind of annoying, but I'm going to mix right now some of that Jane Davenport Matchmaker paint, a little bit of light and dark on each side of this main sort of beige color. And yeah, I fight this face the whole time, and that's fine. That happens. It's actually just good practice to problem solve things in your sketchbook. And you learn really quickly what your weakness is. So I didn't like that drawing apparently because I'm just completely going over it with this paint. And I really do have too large a brush for what I'm trying to do, like model the lights and darks of this face, but that's fine. Clearly I'm not too worried about realism, and I'm just trying to slapdash it on there. That's something Jane Davenport says a lot, slapdash. So, yep, painting in some arms and knowing that I can always correct this stuff later. Purposely trying to do the elongated neck. That's not a really realistic length neck, unless maybe you're a ballerina. So have fun watching me struggle with this figure. You can see a little bit of how that paint works. It's pretty opaque, which is really nice. And the different values, the different lightness to darkness that I can achieve with just those 3 colors is not bad. It's really nice. I do blend a little bit with my finger there, not just the brush. It arrived. My package from Australia, from the Jane Davenport, from Jane Davenport's website. This is not something I ordered, so I'm really hoping now I got my order right. What is this? It's beautiful. Maybe they just packaged my things in this really nice bag. Oh my gosh. Please be mine. Looking good so far. This is definitely what I ordered. Snow Queen. These are paint pens in white and black, the most used. The Epic pen. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm gonna use this immediately. And it's Crazy Carbon ink. Pen made specially for this ink, and it's supposed to go over matte acrylic really well. Oh man, this is just a nice sweet add-on. I'm really pleased right now. Really pleased. And then the musical markers in the classical or country classics set. So I get all these kind of neutral colors, which just, perfect for landscape, right? Perfect for, oh my gosh. I was really feeling tired this afternoon, and now I'm all motivated to continue making some art with you. Very, very, very exciting. So, do. And it made it safely from Australia to Texas. So this is me trying out the Epic pen. It's black carbon ink, is supposed to be waterproof once it's laid down, and it's also advertised as being able to lay on top of a lot. So I'm pretty impressed with it. I used it over top of matte acrylic. Obviously, if you're using a glossy acrylic, it is not going to have the same effect, but over a matte acrylic, that surface is not shiny. It is quite easy to draw with this pen over top. It looks like I'm holding up one of Jane Davenport's small bottles of paint or small tubes of paint, and I'm using that to draw the face, just as like a little reference. So yeah, her packaging is amazing. It's very fancy and pretty. So that's what I used to lay down the face. I'm not pleased with the drawing at all, but it is what it is. And it's just to test out these materials. So there we are. So this is me cracking into the musical markers set for the first time. It comes with stickers so that I can put them on the top of every cap. This will be fun. You probably don't want to watch me do this, but very, very fun. I'll do a few here. Let's see, this is probably. Not gonna tell me the color, huh? I just have to guess. Oh dear. Oh, right here. That will help, I think. Or will it? Please tell me what color you are. Yeah, I bet you it was in this box, in a special order. Oops. Okay, it's fine. Totally fine. So it wasn't exactly fine. I now swatch all of the colors. And what's so interesting about them is that the color outside of the barrel, like what you can see when you just hold up these markers, is not the same color as the paint when you lay it out. And it's not the same color as the paint when the paint dries. The paint dries an even different sort of color. So you'd think these would be fairly easy to lay out and know which color's which. But I did buy the pack with a lot of neutrals. You can see that bottom row of markers, there's so many different browns. And so I actually had to swatch them out, lay them in a certain order. I ended up switching a couple of the stickers when I figured out, nope, this one's more orange than that one, etc. And so my advice is don't do this. Don't do what I did, and make sure that you pull out your stickers first from this box, and then pull out each marker one at a time in order, laying them out so that you know which color's which. Now, it doesn't matter what the name of the color is, not really, but I'm finicky like that, and I also kind of just want them to be named what Jane Davenport named them after. So I took my sweet time organizing it and figuring it out to get the right labels on each one, and I feel fairly confident that I did this. But this is me on fast forward, painstakingly comparing and recomparing all the different pinks and oranges and how they change when you actually lay them on the page. So, woohoo! Learn from what I did and what not to do when you buy these yourself. That said, I really love color. Color's my favorite thing about art. And so this is a really enjoyable process. Any swatching, I think, any testing of colors in your sketchbook is a wonderful process, but it's even more exciting when you have such a range of beautiful colors that you're figuring out that are named really cute. Yeah, it was a joy. It really was. So I had a lot of trouble because these colors are very similar. You can see I couldn't just pick it up and know, so I had to lay them all down. And I really figured out by looking at her own swatch, Jane Davenport's swatch on her website, and looking at color relationships. So there's no way these really look like what they do online, but if you are stuck with two of them and one's a darker value, then you figured it out. So I figured out all of these except for these last three. They were all the same value, but very different hues. Or tints, like this one's very pink, purple, and yellow. So I ended up having to just look at, well, Beer with Duncan is the most purple, even though this doesn't look like what I think it does online. Billy the Kid ended up being the more pink one, not this one, because I had to leave the most yellow one as I walk the line. So these are the ones that look the most different online compared to my page, but I'm pretty confident that I've laid them all out correctly now, just based on their relationships to one another. So I'm going to label them. I'm just going to leave this as it was. It was my working practice sheet. This reminds me of something that I did when I was younger. We went to the science, was it called the science spectrum? I can't remember. No, that's what it's called here in the city I live in now. I went to the science center. I think that might have been what it was called. And this is when I was younger, maybe 13, I don't know. And I found a big, what I thought kind of was like a game, and it had tons of different colors, and they were just subtly different, and the colors were on the end of these like wooden dowels, and you had to put them in order based on color relationships, and there was maybe 30 of them, maybe 50. It took me a while, and I stood there and I just went one by one, matching them the closest that I could, and at the end it revealed that I got them all correct. So I was able to, even way back then, before decades of painting, figure out subtle color relationships and see those little tints and differences in hues. Yay. So I just continued to record this, even though it's just me labeling the little swatches. color swatches because I love watching people write. I don't know, I'm mesmerized by it. Even though it might not be the best handwriting, there's something about watching people write. And fast forward, even more exciting for me for some reason. Does anybody else have that? So I just label it here and then discover that there are other sort of replacement nibs, which is very helpful. If you wear out a nib while you're drawing, you can always use the other. Da-da-da! Thank you for watching me swatch. So now I'm using these paint markers to sort of alter the drawing that I had laid down, and they have so many sort of flesh tones that I was able to kind of sculpt out the face a little more. You can see me flipping back and forth to the swatches. That's another good reason to swatch in your book. Obviously, swatches can look different on different types of paper, but if it's within the same sketchbook, you can easily do what I did, flip back and forth, and use that to help your color selection, so you're not just opening marker after marker and testing it out. But they laid over the drawing pretty well. I'm using my hands to blend a little bit. So I ended up getting frustrated enough or insecure enough about the drawing of this girl's face that I decided she needs a mask too. And so I just used the journal tattoos as a reference. I looked up at there and kind of improvised a little bit of a mask for Our Lady. And the only non-Jane Davenport thing I'm using are it looks like I have a Jelly Roll white pen there, and then I also used a gold pen. It was a Uniball Signo Broad in gold, and I used that to add some gilded details to our gate. So now I am cutting a bunch of the Jane Davenport washi tape. This one's completely blank, and I honestly haven't spent a lot of time with the blank washi tape decorating it. I have used a lot more of the washi tape that has drawings on it. But they're all they have a paper surface, a matte paper surface. The ones that I bought, they're not glossy like a lot of washi tape. And this is me just struggling to hold down the little curved pieces with other washi tape, then it was not very successful just because I'm working on a rough surface. As you can see, the washi that I was using to hold down this washi did not hold, so I've got little pins here now. And I was mostly using greens and blues, and I want to bring in some warm color palette. So I don't really know. You can't really get much with these on this paper. It's so absorbent. You can't really get much very specific things, but guys, I'm sleepy. You can probably tell. Words are hard. But even doodling on this washi will be super fun to use. This is very pleasant to do, to draw with these little brush markers. I don't think they would be very ideal for brush lettering or anything that requires precision. I am just going to do as much patterning as I can. I'm pulling in different colors. These bleed really well. You can't quite see from, you're not zoomed in enough to see, but I have to have a really light touch with it because they just absorb into this washi. So I'm just trying to do repetitive pattern and like slightly alter it. I apologize for the shaky camera. It's extra noticeable when you fast forward. I'm sure I had my tripod touching the table, and so it got wiggly. But yeah, the mermaid markers were a great pair with the washi, and then I added in some finer little vine details here with the colored pencils. I have to really think about that. Pencil crayons. We say that in Canada, so my apologies. I really, really enjoy these colored pencils. I want to use them in my sketchbooks a lot more. I'm very excited about them. I do a lot of drawing with pen and ink and not nearly enough with color, considering how obsessed I am with color. So I'm looking forward to using those in the future in my sketchbooks. All right, so you've seen me struggle through this, and we've made some washi, and I just want to use it to cover up marks I don't like, and maybe turn this into a more abstracted piece. So let's use one that has purple in it. I like this because everything in this page is organic, and this is a bit more rigid, a little tiny bit. And I'm not going to make much sense with this. I'm just going to turn my brain off and see what comes of it. This is the most annoying part of the Jane Davenport color your own washi. Oh, that's so pretty on the other side. It went right through. Is that it's just really hard to peel off of the backing there. We could make her dress really abstract here. And why does it go up here? Okay. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Art is a bunch of leaps of faith. That's what it is. That's what makes it an adventure. Peel, peel, peel. You can do it. Do you guys just throw things on the floor of your studio? Or is that just my problem? Let's mix it up. I'm gonna cut off that white end. And I'm gonna save some of this washi, I think, for another page, just to start it off creatively. Oh my goodness, sorry that you're watching me peel washi. I'm digging this though, I'm digging it. If you have a trick for this, let me know. I've seen some people use like tweezers with washi tape. I don't think I have the patience. I just probably, okay. Well, that's what I'll be doing next. Ooh, kind of looks like plants. Some flowers growing. Cover up this horrible monstrosity of a hand. There we go. That was hideous. Hideous, I tell you. I probably won't push this piece, it's not even a piece, it's just a page, but I probably won't push it to the very end where I'm satisfied. I'm just going to do a fair bit and then call it and revisit it another time, which is what happens a lot in sketchbooks. For me, anyway. If I space these out, it kind of mimics like a gate or something. What if I put it right there? I get to cover up some of my random line drawing. We will do that. Okay. Brought out black paint. It's not matte. It's golden, and it's going to have a bit of a sheen, and therefore won't be able to draw over it with, say, pencil crayons, colored pencils. But it has a great potential for just carving out and giving some negative space to some of this piece, because right now it's very chaotic. So I'm going to go around her hair and right over this tape. I've got to find ways to integrate it into the rest of the drawing. Kind of looks like she's wearing a cloak. Do I dare go cover up this yellow? I wonder if I could. It's a bit strange, but I'm going to see what it looks like. I should really just use a bigger brush for this. I'm squashing my brush down like this to cover more space. And then if I need detail, I lift the brush up so that the point can allow me to be more precise. When I'm just filling space though, I can put it on its side and dump the paint a little more easily. Okay, where else, folks? Where else? It's a bit strange, just these 3 spots, but I wonder if I should do this. Like how I wonder if I should do this, and I do it before having that answer. What else, folks? What else? I don't really want to cover this just because I like that, even though it would make sense to extend part of this black over. And I have weird cloud things here. That maybe possibly I should get rid of. And we can always add them back. That's the thing. We can always add it back. Well, some of it. Other choices you make, and that's that. It's a lot like life. Getting philosophical here, people. You just gotta make a choice and then own it. What are you gonna do with it? Okay. Wow, this kind of looks like it's just this weird giant dress. I don't mind that. Here are my fancy palace gates. And my really, really bad hairdo. Wow. Let me look up a much better... I draw from resources all the time, so I think that's going to help me if I just swing over here to my computer and pull up hairdo pictures. I like that the yellow's kind of showing up there. This needs work. This is an empty space. I mean, I don't need to fill it up. Everything else is so busy. But I just feel like something isn't being tied in over here. It's very dense and dark here. Bold lines. But really, I mean, I don't want to analyze this at all. It's just play. It's its own little world. I think that this is a page for exploration, obviously, of these materials, and it is for sort of therapy, right? Like calming. That's what I use my journals for. I don't expect, it's kind of hard to show them because I don't expect people to like them or think they are quote unquote good. It's not something I feel like really I want any sort of critique on. It's hard to even show you, put your eyes on this, because yes, it's its own little wild fiasco. And yeah, it's really hard to show work you're not proud of, work you're just doing the work. I might find something while doing this that I use later that becomes very important to my art. It is really hard to know that. So there's that. You have to show up and work or play. Depends what words you feel like using, because this is more play than work, really, for me. You can see me hesitate because once it's down, it's down. Oof. That is not necessarily a good thing. The brave thing, this brush pen is remarkable. Ooh, highly pigmented. Now, as I said before, I don't want to go into this because I really like that, but I have to somehow transition it. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna stop there, and I really want white. Story time, paint pens, Snow Queen. Whoops, sorry. I really didn't want to get blue on this. That's about all I need for now. There's one other supply, not quite a supply, but a Jane Davenport product that I have that I forgot to mention. And that is, I have two of her books, Fabulous Figures and Beautiful Faces. And I obviously learned to draw faces in my master's degree and even in my undergraduate degree, actually. Proportions, all that jazz. But Jane Davenport was a fashion designer, and so she has a very interesting way of doing things, and it's not how I was taught, right? Things are exaggerated, elongated, proportions are completely askew. Look at these eyes taking up, they're like little alien people. But it's a style and it's beautiful, and I need to push myself into less realistic style. I think that would be very freeing. So I could just draw people whenever I want, not realistic people, but the people that emerge from the situation and the themes that I'm drawing. So that's that. Thank you for joining me to watch all these supplies and come to life a little bit. Thank you for your patience, and I will be sure to show you more journal spreads in the future that are more successful than this, but there it is. You can't tell how it's going to turn out. And yeah, look at this. We still have a couple pages to mess around in, so you get to watch that happen. Woohoo! Alrighty, bye for now.